Welcome everyone, it's Tarot Q&A. I'm Fiona McLeod answering your questions using the tarot cards, the words of wisdom, the cosmic intervention to help you get by in life when you have struggles, challenges, find yourself at a crossroads or otherwise. This is your chance to get a free reading. We do this pretty much every week if you're new to this channel. And please, I invite you to subscribe so you can get more wisdom free of charge more often. So here we go. We're going to begin with some questions that have already been sent in. However, I do welcome you to pop your own question into the chat box. Now, if you're watching the replay, you can do this as well, and I will check it out for next week. Now, if you're watching the replay, please do give me 5 purple hearts into the chat because I would love to know who turned up after the live. It's always nice to connect with everybody. Now, we'll just remind you that if you are watching this as the replay, I always do a collective reading. That means if you are watching this and you haven't asked a question, there will be a group reading that everyone can get some wisdom, an overall vibe of what the energy is at this point in time in our life. Now, today I am going to begin with a question that wasn't actually a tarot reading question. I had a client, Kimberly, come for a solar line therapy session the other day. Now, this is when I help people to transcend limiting subconscious beliefs at the root cause. So often we go into past lives, which I like to refer to as parallel lives, and we find where that karmic block has risen from. Sometimes it's in our childhood, sometimes it's last year, sometimes it's last week, but usually there is a root cause that has been repeating over time. Now, Kimberly actually isn't necessarily in the money to have a whole lot of healing sessions with somebody. And so we talked about starting a way that people could gain insight into their own healing through something I can offer complimentary on this channel. She asked me, I'd like to learn more about healing and how to release negative trauma and emotions. A lot of people talk about healing, meditation, grounding, etc., but it goes deeper than that. And some of us don't know what else to do, exclamation mark. So something about how to release the negative emotions and anger and trauma would be super helpful. So what we're going to do is at the end of these readings, I'm going to answer this question for Kimberly and for other people watching. So that is a bonus, right? So you just stay till the end because you'll get those extra pieces of goodness. Now, I'm going to whiz straight in to Jessica's question. She has said, please could I have a card just about everything in general and what the tarot is wanting me to know about all that is going on at the moment for me? Well, this is a great question from Jessica because also implies that the tarot itself has the answers. Now, the tarot itself is actually a portal into our subconscious mind. So really and our higher self, our higher mind, you could say. So really what we're doing is asking our higher self, who's basically way more wise than our conscious self. Jessica, I'll just show you what fell over. The Wheel of Fortune did flip out as I was chatting, but we will continue to just chat and tune into Jessica's energy so that she can understand what her soul essence is nudging her to do so that she can live more of an awesome life. You see, ultimately, our soul is always talking to us through our heart, actually. Our heart is like the messenger to the human self. Now, Jessica, what does your soul want you to know right now through the tarot? Let me see. Okay. Oh, dear. Oh, okay, we have more deep work to do. This is the Moon card, which, Jessica, I know is one of your archetype cards. Jessica has been an avid follower for some time, and we love our Jessica. The moon represents the subconscious mind and the fight between our conscious mind and the subconscious mind. So in this image, we actually, I've already put it away now, but anyway, here it is. We have like a domestic dog and a wild wolf. And you know what we're like on a full moon, right? We're like the wild wolf. And that is when our darkness is stirred up. In the full moon, everything is enhanced, right? We've just had a full moon last week. And a lot of people felt this full moon. It was like a blood moon. It was very rocky for people, but it's not that stuff is happening from the outside to us. It's actually just stirring up stuff that's already within us. And these are things like our subconscious conditioning and experiences that we've had that have made us be protective of ourselves and have these attitudes and beliefs and stories about life itself. So when the full moon happens and we blame our life on the full moon because everything's going wrong or it's more intense or we're not sleeping, in fact, it's just alerting you to something deeper that it's time for you to take check of. So with Jessica, we would like to give her a little bit more information to find out what is that thing? What is that thing that she's, what is the thing that she needs to address? Very much in her head at the moment. Now, this is the 8 of Swords. The swords represent thoughts, ideas, thinking, the mind, the chitter chatter, the monkey mind, right? And in this image, this woman, she feels like she's trapped. She thinks she's trapped. She's got these bandages around her. And this is an illusion because she's not really trapped. She is believing she's trapped by her thinking. So her thoughts are making her feel trapped. Now, I have to say, this card comes up like all the time, right? It is probably the most frequently pulled card in my tarot Q&A because it is the human condition of overthinking. And what we are really encouraged to do is tap into our inner wisdom and follow that intuitive guidance. Now, in this card, you can see, hopefully it's hard to get you to see it well, there's water at the bottom of this card where her feet are. She can run through the water, meaning she can dive into her emotional state. How does she do that? She needs to tap into her heart more. And that is not always easy for us human selves. How do we do it? Well, we can connect with nature more, which helps us to align more with our own authentic essence. We can have more stillness in our days, just stop being so busy, like literally schedule in time to actually have that stillness. And we can also do meditative practices. We can try automatic writing. We can wiggle our toes and focus on our feet and bring our energy down out of our head. We can stand in the grass and imagine our feet have roots in the bottom of them going deep, deep, deep into the middle of the earth. We can run through the sand on the beach and soak up the negative ions that the wonderful nature has gifted us just by being feet on the ground, feet on the grass. So that is part of the story. Now, what is the thought that Jessica is constantly going around in her mind? It just feels quite general, too much thinking and not enough being. And so we are suggesting this is a new cycle, a change into another round of the spiritual journey. We have these cycles, right, in our life. We have a story that ends and then a new beginning starts. Sometimes we have that within a day, but often within a year, we have lots of cycles and new beginnings. The only thing we can guarantee in life is change. And the rhythm of our life is depicted by cycles and routine and rhythm. It's like the seasons, right? It's always coming back around again. And if we don't actually pick up the messages that we were supposed to pick up on the first round, we're going to be getting slam dumped with a double whammy or a triple whammy or 4 times the amount or 5 times the amount of carnage if we're not listening to the nudges from our heart and soul. Now, who is here today? Who is here, guys? I'd love you to share with me your own favorite emoji, just so I know who's watching today. Before we move along to Yvette's question, after we've asked Yvette's question and answered it using the portal of the tarot, we will then go into the collective reading that I promised you for everybody who's watching this. So Yvette, what is going on with me lately? I am more emotionally sensitive and off balance. Okay, let's get a feel for Yvette. Safe and appropriate to read for Yvette today. Yes, it is. Okay, Yvette. Ready to go, Yvette? Yep. All right, what is actually happening for Yvette? Why is she feeling so extra sensitive and off balance? Well, if it's been happening since last Friday, it possibly is the remains of the full moon that we were just talking about. However, it's been happening longer than that. We are suggesting that this is a time of growth, personal growth. And as you can see in this card, it's the 8 of Wands. Now, these little leaves on these wands are fresh new growth. and they are moving. Life is moving and it's going in the positive direction. But in order to grow, sometimes we have growing pains. And so if you're feeling sensitive and off balance, you can actually ask yourself, what is this meaning? Like, what is my body trying to tell me? What is the sensitivity? What are the messages? In fact, Yvette, listen to the message at the end of this recording when I explain more about self-healing. Okay, and it is a guidance tool into your own intuition. Funnily enough, well, that's just ironic, isn't it, that we get this card for you? Another message to really take some time to allow your intuitive ways to start ruling your life, your intuitive knowledge, your inner wisdom. And you've got some clues on how to do that from the beginning of this reading. Is there's no more messages from here right now. We're just saying it's a time of letting go of the old and really having a spirit of personal growth, of development of that human self, so that you can expand and be more of who you have been. So we don't grow if we're in the comfort zone, do we? We don't grow in the comfort zone. So you're being forced to level up, and we invite you to do that. And if you'd like some extra help on how to do that, maybe it's a good starting point to start tapping into some journaling exercises that help you find yourself, find the truth of who you are behind the hidden stories that we don't even know we're telling ourselves, behind society's expectations and the roles you were taught to play. And on that note, I can't help but share with you, at the end of May, guys, we are running a 2-night retreat in Waihi Beach, New Zealand. That is only for like 12 special guests. This one is a women's only event, and it's all about discovering your authentic self. We are going to include 9D breath work. We also have massage available and tarot reading. I'll be there reading tarot. I'll also be running a workshop that helps you to deepen your understanding of your true self and find the essence of who you are, and a little bit about why you've come to planet Earth this round. And we'll also include, obviously, some yoga. It always goes down very well in a retreat. But we've got a special yoga instructor. She does yoga lattes as well as yoga. So it's going to be a blissful experience with delicious food and beautiful accommodation. If you'd like to know more, I will pop a link to that in the chat or somewhere around so that you can find it, and you are welcome to inquire more. You can even have a free discovery call with me if you want to find out what it's about. All right, let's whip along to the collective consciousness reading. This is for everybody who is watching on the replay, and we will be happy to share this story with you. Now, what do we all need to hear right now? 3 cards. And it's not a past, present, future. So that's interesting. We're just going to... Oh, okay, guys. I've just got a special little way of doing this. Lucky I've got some crystals sitting next to me. We're going to refer to these as color crystals. So we have blue. If blue is your favorite color, that is going to be card number 1. If you like this beautiful heart-shaped... What is this? Is this labradorite? Does anyone know? I sometimes get my crystals confused. It's not my forte, although I do love to use them. And we have this sparkling silver. Beautiful, right? Beautiful. All right. So we have blue, agate, this divine heart, and the silver. So if you are number 1, you'll get the blue. Number 2, you'll get the heart. Number 3, you'll get silver. So we're going to pull 3 cards. This is pretty exciting, everyone, isn't it? 3 cards. 1 for each of these crystals. Okay. The blue. Is that the correct one? Yes. Now, it's very quiet in the room today. I'm not sure where everybody actually is. It's unusual, but that's okay. Now, 1. Is it 2, 3, 3, 3? Let's see. 3. All right, guys, this is going to be fun. So if you chose the beautiful blue agate, I think it's blue agate. If anyone knows crystals better than I, and I do know them quite well, but just sometimes I get the names, so it can be a bit dyslexic at times, which is fine. You have the reason for a celebration. And if you're not celebrating the little things in life, then we are going to encourage you to do just that. Make a mountain out of a molehill, we would say. We would encourage you to celebrate the little things. This could also imply a wedding is coming up or a reason for celebration. So really, if it's just a message for what you need to hear right now, we're going to say celebrate the little things, like jump up and down, open your best champagne on Tuesday and drink out of your favorite wine glasses. Like don't save things until the big events, because we need to celebrate all the little things every day, right? Oops. Oh dear, I've lost it. 3, 3, 3. Okay, now if you chose the heart, the beautiful heart, there we go. This is the card for you. We have the 6 of Swords. As you know, swords are about thoughts, and this is moving yourself from rough waters to calmer seas by being very mindful of your thinking. You are encouraged to don't take your thoughts wherever you go. You know how they say you can move town, you can move country, you can move relationships, but wherever you go, there you are, meaning you're taking your old baggage with you. So we are reminding you that this is the case and encouraging you to not take the baggage, to in fact drop the old way of doing things and start to create a life that is more calm and less rocky by dropping your hang-ups and your issues with people, and forgive people as well would be another way that can help that to happen. Now, last, certainly not least, we have the gorgeous little silver number. Make a beautiful earring, wouldn't it? Anyway, that is, I just want to double check on this. That's not the card, because I actually, I confess, I pulled my cards together and I threw this third one away. So we will just have to pull that card again. Is that the card? Right. If you chose silver, then you have got the 4 of Cups. Now, this dude, I always say he's going like this. He's got the pip. He's grumpy because things aren't going his way. He has a plan, and I say he, but it's not necessarily a he. It's a person that has these ideals and these expectations about how life should be, right? And how their inner fulfillment should be played out. This could look like how their relationship should be, what someone should be doing, or how their business should be going, or what their health should be perfect. And this is like should. And in fact, life doesn't go like that. And we need to appreciate what we do have rather than moaning about what we don't have. Because if we're focusing on what someone's not doing the way we expect, then we're going to be miserable. So I just open up your awareness to look at for every one thing that's not going your way, I guarantee there's 3 things that are going your way. So I encourage you to take note of those 3 things that are going your way and take like a 21-day cycle and write down those 3 things every day, so that you can have a moan. You can say, oh God, this is so annoying. This is not going my way. Then on the other note, simply allow yourself to focus on 3 things that are going your way. And these are little tidbits and twists and turns, how you can actually make your life better, make your days more fun, feel happier from the inside out. And that's what we want, right? Ultimately, at the end of the day, everyone just wants to be happy. So easy peasy, lemon squeezy. All right, we'll get back into the questions. I'm going to talk about Mel's question. She has asked, will my son ever open up his heart and emotions to me? So this is obviously a very emotional question. It's feeling very heavy and dark. And I don't mean dark in a bad way. It just, heaviness is weight. It's dark. Now, the card that's fallen out is actually the celebration card. So I just wanted to bear that in mind, because it's a reminder to do what we just said before, which is, focus on celebrating the little things. Be appreciative of what is going good, and don't focus on what was in the past. But we will still pull you another card just to get you deeper understanding of, is your son likely to open up about, just express himself, I think is the way it is. Now, the thing about this is that it's not that him not expressing himself is him not feeling or not caring. He just doesn't. That's his personality by the feel of it. I can see this is keeping you awake at night and stressing you out, And that's not good. So we want to invite you to consider that maybe he's just not as it expresses, and he shows his love in different ways. And yeah, it is actually going to come into a more of a balanced relationship, but don't expect him to express in the way that you are wanting it. Now, this is just tying in from that last collective consciousness card, isn't it? When we're getting things, but it's not happening the way we want it to happen. And therefore, we'll just say one more thing for you. The more you focus on being your empowered, happy, confident, successful, comfortable in your own skin woman, the more that you will attract better relationships with everyone. So, of course, with the tarot, we never answer so specific to the question. It's always a bit more convoluted and a bit more holistic. So, will he express himself in other ways? Could be the question that we have. And yes, we get the soulmate card. You guys have got a soulmate connection. That really means that there is a lot of learning to do between you two, and that's perfect. But soulmate relationships are always so tough and rough, aren't they? They really can be the hardest ones to navigate because they're here with karmic residue to overcome from previous lifetimes, other parallel timelines. All right, so that feels really positive, Mel. It's just really about shifting your perspective in a way that you get on with your life and know that things have changed and he is different to you, the way he expresses himself, and just allow it to unfold because it's already started to do that. Let's kick along and see what else we've got going on here. Naomi, why is my weight just getting more and more and more and more? Okay, there is more to that question, but basically she wants to know why she is like, obviously we think that gaining weight can be eating too much food, not exercising. However, this is not the case, right? It can be hormonal, it can be food allergies, it can be all sorts. So let's just see if we get an answer from the tarot to see if we can get that really clear how you can change things. We are suggesting that there might be a need for you to feel more celebrated by the world. And when you feel more celebrated by the world for who you are and what you do, you drop the protective guard. You drop the barriers that you've put up around you to protect you and keep you safe. So weight can be like we hold on to the weight so that it's like a buffer between us and the world. And I feel that it's time for you to start consciously opening up yourself to the world a little bit more and running forth with whatever you're passionate about so that people can see you in action and then give you the validation, be victorious around you, like see you as the wonderful person for all the wonderful things that you are doing. Is there something else that you need to be aware of with your weight that could be a new? Yes, it is going to be important that you focus on being grounded as well and calm down the nervous system, because the high cortisol will not be helping matters. Is there anything to do with hormones? Is there anything to do with lack of exercise? Yes, lack of exercise. You need to improve the exercise. What about food? Food. Yeah, I would suggest that maybe you start a different eating regime. This is just like a rebirth kind of card, a sign for a new way of doing something. So really look into shifting the way that you're eating. It doesn't feel like allergies. It just feels not right for you and some of the foods you're eating. Is there anything else? Yes, there is. Is this? What am I getting? Something about your work. Something to do with work. The weight to do with work, no. Being grounded, no. Feeling stable and settled, right. You need to be feeling some level of stability. I feel that this will be helpful when you settle into a new home and set up as like a permanent residence. There's not enough security, is that the right word? There's not enough groundedness. There's not enough safety. You're not safe. Your body doesn't feel safe. That's why it's in the beginning, it came up as being protective of yourself. So tell yourself that you are safe, feel safe. And it would be helpful if you could have some hugs as well. I know that sounds strange, but that is what we're talking about. Okay, let's move along to Kath's question. The question I'm asking is, am I being paranoid about my friend not being honest with me? Am I still significant, or am I just being played a fool? Oh, Kath, well, we'll just answer that with a yes or no to begin with. Kath, just shifting into Kath's energy. Sometimes I do some unusual breathing to do that. Is he being honest with you? Oh, yes, they are. Like, definitely honest. We're getting that soulmate energy, soulmate connection. And that is what I said before with the previous person who got this card. Soulmate connections are there to teach you lessons and to help you grow and to be a better version of yourself, to expand your soul. So in answer to the question, are you being paranoid? No. Is it he or she, feels like a he, being honest? Yes. Am I still significant? Yes. Are you being played the fool? No. Well, funnily enough, the fool in the tarot is us. So we are, yes, you're being played the fool in a positive manner. So that's all good. All right, let's see. Has anybody asked a question in the chat? It's like super quiet today. Oh, hi, guys. Yes, we can answer your question. Will connect with me or everything is end from him? Okay, well, we will say, is it connecting or is it ending? We'll say, is it connecting? Okay, so this is the person seemingly asking about a relationship. Is that the case? Hello there. Good to have you here. It's the first time with Arcana. I always get a bit challenged on all the names on YouTube. Anyhow, we're going to say, will they connect with me, or is everything in the end? Will he come home in my life? Safe and appropriate to read for this person. Yes, no, can't be yes, no, yes. Okay. All right. We're just going to give you the yes or no answer. Yes. Yes. We feel this king will return to his empire, whatever that means to you. Is that a good answer for you? It feels like it probably is. It feels positive. Alrighty, everyone. Let's answer the original thing we were talking about, which Kimberly had suggested. I'll go back to that question, which is, she'd love to hear more about healing and how to release negative trauma and emotions. Something to release the negative emotions and anger and trauma. Well, allow me to share with you a little brief, and we can give more details on this on the next session as well. When we have a trigger, it is reminding us of something that has happened of a similar nature. So our subconscious is going into like a fear reaction or an angry reaction because of the story that we have sitting in our subconscious. So if you think of our subconscious as like a library of everything that's happened, there's a book in that library of a story that is associated with pain. And in order for us to release that pain and anger, we need to go back and discover what that story is. So if we can track back and think, when was the first time in my life I experienced this same pattern, this similar parallel story? And when we can tap into that original event and shed some light onto it, that is actually us illuminating the darkness. It's a very subtle form of shadow work, because obviously we do need to shift the energy at the core level, not just with our conscious mind. But by illuminating the problem and going back and saying, oh, that's probably because when I was a little kid, this thing happened, I remember, and I felt abandoned, or I felt left out, or I felt hurt, or I was unsafe in this environment. And now every time somebody leaves me or hits me, or we don't want to be hit by anybody, but, you're going to have this like alarm bell go off in your mind. So what I would say is, yes, you may ask a question. Rad's diary, and I'm sharing with everybody how you can start to release your own anger. If you feel angry, Be with the anger. Don't try and get rid of it and suppress it. Ask the anger, where are you coming from? What do you need from me? What is this trying to tell me? Because every single emotion is there as a compass point. It's helping us to come back to love, but where it's informing us that we're out of balance or that we need to deal with something. We need to clear a layer of human story, of human limiting belief, of our ego's protective mechanism. So if you're stuck in anger, the other way to look at it is, how is being stuck in anger serving you? Like, there's always a motivational mechanism within our state of mind and within our life. We only stay stuck in an emotion or stuck in a life circumstance if it's serving us on some level. Now, logically, it may not make sense. However, if you sink into this and you meditate on it, or you do some journaling, some freestyle writing, there's lots of ways that you can allow your truth to rise up. If you can do that, if you can sink into the depth of the story that you're telling yourself, you will have some clarity, and then you can literally just say, hey, I'll let that go. I choose to let that go. This is no longer the story I'm carrying around. But the anger is the opposite of anger, is passion, right? So sometimes when we're stuck in anger, we need to follow our passion more. If we're stuck in sadness, we need to do things that light our heart up and make us happier. If we're stuck in grief, we need to love what we're grieving. We need to love what we've lost. We need to remember that we only grieve if we've had the loss of something that we loved. So when we look at the extreme examples of whatever you're feeling, that is a clue on how to shift it into a more of a balanced state. So I hope that makes sense. We will tap on this a little bit more and maybe do another free class sometime soon on how you can transcend the limiting beliefs or the unhealthy attachments or the trauma or the anger. Simply be with it. I say be with the emotion. Don't try and suppress it. Allow yourself to be with it, but be with it without the story. Once you've found the story, let it go and allow the emotion to be energy in motion, emotion. So it needs to keep moving. Don't suppress it, because that will block the motion and you'll stay stuck. As long as you can say, hey, anger, I see you, I hear you, I understand you, but I no longer need you because I am safe, or because I'm happy, or because I'm finding a passion. So let's talk to the next question. Will I come home first in the exam? I mean, will I get first rank? Will you get first rank? Let's see. Will you get first rank? Maybe not first, but it's good to aim high. You might just find that it's not actually first. Maybe it's up the top, but not. It doesn't have to be first for your success to be granted. Does so-and-so truly love me? Have they said they loved you? Yeah, I think there is a little bit of love there. I think there is some love. We'll give that a yes. We'll say yes. We're feeling more positive than not. Whether it's romantic love or otherwise is yet to be seen. It feels like a friendship at this time. So we are going to wrap this up, guys. We're going to say goodbye. We're going to see you all here next week. Please do give me a thumbs up if you haven't already in the chat, because I would absolutely love to get your support. And I invite you to come back here another day. If you want to send me a question, there's an email in the blurb below, and we will look forward to helping you then. See you. Bye, guys.